All right, One Piece TCG fans, I think we have some big news, or at least I saw some news that might be of interest to you. I'm sure you all have heard that GameStop has, with Pokemon, they've accepted PSA cards for trade-in and store credit, or they'll give you some cash, and they also are now selling PSA cards. Do you think that One Piece PSA cards could be next? Well, I got some good news regarding that, because I looked at GameStop earlier today and I saw some interesting stuff that I kind of want to share with you. So, do you think that GameStop will start accepting PSA One Piece cards either now or in the future? It's a good question, right? Well, like I mentioned, I went and visited GameStop and for the Pokemon stuff just to see, and because they really, recently started accepting the cards, right, for trade-in, credit, or cash. But then I looked at some videos about 10 days ago, right? There was actually some videos, I think one from a Possum Bud, talking about that GameStop wanted your graded cards. So it was coming, and then, but it wasn't in place yet. But people had started to see at that time that their cards were, being placed on the store, their online store, graded cards at least. And then, like you see in the next one, people went and tried to sell their cards and kind of, videotape their experience as well. And this is a pretty famous one with Leonhardt. I know he's a pretty big Poke YouTuber. So he tried to trade in his cards, and it was a mess because the GameStop employee, no offense to him at all, I actually do not think he did anything wrong because he was unaware. Based on the manager talking to him, nobody seemed to train this individual, so I don't think it was, anything on him. GameStop should have had a better rollout of the trading in of Pokemon cards. But anyway, so I know a lot of you people are like TCGs, right? So you probably collect Pokemon or at least heard of Pokemon. And so with GameStop accepting graded cards for sale, there's a lot of buzz about that because, it could definitely affect the market, and, it could also influence how people view Pokemon and the market as well. So, as I stated, did you know that GameStop is currently or will be currently selling One Piece PSA graded cards? As I said, I looked earlier, just typed in One Piece cards, and 5 results came up. But as you can see, if you look closely, the release date is May 24th, 2024. So that's 4 days, depending on when you see this video, it's going to be a couple days out. So it's definitely interesting to see that these cards are on their website, that you can look at them, but they're not going to be released for a few more days. So let's kind of take a look at so there's only 5 cards that they have on sale right now. So as I mentioned, they're currently selling graded PSA cards. So I don't think it's going to be long before they're going to be accepting PSA One Piece cards as well. And that will definitely influence the market, hopefully in a positive way, because, that'll give more exposure to this card game that, a lot of people are still not aware of. Alright, so let's kind of take a look at... and also I wanted to mention, I forgot about this. I typed in Yu-Gi-Oh! Graded cards, or Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards as well. And they actually sell Yu-Gi-Oh! Graded cards too. So, again, same thing. Release date is 5/24. So it's going to be a couple days out. But they had about, I think, 13 cards versus the 5 that One Piece had. Alright, so let's take a look at the 5 cards that they're offering. From left to right. So the first card, which I should have put last actually, but the first card that they're offering is the Nami SP from Awakening of the New Era, so OP05. I love this card. This is pretty awesome texture. So if you see anybody open it or see it in person, it's a really, really cool card. So for the Gem Mint PSA 10, they are charging $332.99. So I want to kind of look, I can't remember what the regular price was, so I looked that up and kind of want to compare, and then also want to compare what it was to the last graded PSA 10s were, just for a apples to apple comparison. And this is also because I'm new to TCGs, and this kind of shows you the premium of PSA cards versus what regular cards, ungraded cards are going for, which they call near mint foil. So when you see NM foil, that's for near mint foil. So you can see on this card, definitely, you know, the market with One Piece is shaky as far as the singles market is concerned. In my eyes, it goes up and down for sure. Peaked at 280, you know, not too long ago, back in January, February, from 120 actually, right? And it's kind of dropped down to you know, below 160. So ungraded is about 139.99, right? Last sold. So that's about 137% above last TCG sold. So that's the premium for the graded card at GameStop. But now let's take a look at, you know, just for comparison's sake, right? We don't want to be unfair to GameStop. Let's take a look at what the last couple were sold. You know, I know most people use that .10 website, but I just used eBay and just typed in last sold. It's just a little bit easier. Next time I'll use .10 because I think that might be more accurate. So this one, I just used an average, and I eyeballed it for the most part. So average 264. So that's going to be a 25% premium for GameStop to buy the card at GameStop. Now, I will say this about GameStop and the premium on their side, even though it's a little bit higher. Right, so if it is at GameStop, that's going to be a store that's at a local mall or strip mall or somewhere that you could just go to. There should be more of them than a local game store, right? A trading card store, LGS. So you never know. Then it may be a little bit more beneficial. Also, I don't know about the return policy, so I want to look into that. But what if you have something wrong with the card? I think it may be, a little bit easier to exchange for the same card. So who knows? But the 25% premium for trading in, for buying a PSA 10 graded card at GameStop versus eBay or Mercari. And again, the other thing about those two is you never know if you're going to get those items shipped. Well, you should, right? Because of the eBay and Mercari's guarantee. But with GameStop, you could just pick it up, hopefully, or have it shipped from a GameStop warehouse. So so let me know if you think the GameStop premium is going to be worth it on these cards. Okay, so the next one that we're looking at is the Rebecca. It's the alt art from OP05. So again, Gem Mint 10 for $58.99. So that's going to be on sale on, like I said, in a couple of days, May 24th. And again, this last 6 months, this card has been going down, but it looks like it's stabilized a little bit. It's about $32.50, around there, $32, $36 for the last 3 sales. So 81.51% above the last TCG sold. For the PSA 10 premium, right, at GameStop. So now let's take a comparison to other PSA 10s. So I was actually surprised seeing this one, right? So we had a couple of offers that were accepted, so I'm not exactly sure. That's why I use that .10 website for next time. So I used about $52.95, which was the last sold that wasn't best offer accepted. So that's only a 11.4% premium, which I think is pretty fair. Also, if you look at the 2 that were accepted for best offer, had they sold at the price that they were asking for, it's actually going to be higher than what GameStop is offering for a PSA 10. So the GameStop premium would actually be in your favor if that's the case. So they'd be saving you money in that sense. Alright, the third card is the Yamato from Romance Dawn. I have never seen this card live, but I've definitely looked at it on box openings. The alt art, of course. PSA 10 is going at $239.99. Again, just kind of history of the cards, kind of going down but stabilizing for the last 6 months. Last sold was in the 90s. So this one's going to give you about 163% premium for the PSA 10, and to get it at GameStop as well. So compared to other PSA 10s. So used an average about 190. So the GameStop premium is about 26%. So once again, like I said, is that fair? Could be looked at as fair. Could be looked at as not. Just depending on how, if you have these other sellers that you trust, obviously with a lower price, just go with that. But if you're unsure, maybe this may be at least an avenue you can go, an alternate place where you could buy cards, even though you may not like the prices. It's just a place you can get them, especially with the how hard some of these cards are getting. All right, so this one's the Dawn. I laughed when I saw this card because I have a bunch of these cards, but it's from Paramount War. The Dawn alt art. You get one of these in every box. So anytime you open a Paramount War, you're going to get one of these cards. So PSA 10. I didn't even know that you'd grade Dawn cards. Like I said, I'm not in the grading. It's my first year in TCGs, so I didn't even know people would even grade a Dawn card. But $29.99. And this card, this one was surprising me because, it's $2. So didn't move a whole lot. It's always been in the range around $2. 79% above the last TCG sold, right? So I think that should be way more. I think I copied and got the wrong, put the wrong figure up there. It's definitely way more than 79%, right? That's like a 100x multiplier or something like that. All right, so I think it was supposed to be this one. So average is about $25 for the graded card. GameStop premium is about 20%. So if you look though, February 21st, $29.99, right? Same price. And then April 8th, 35 best offer accepted. So we don't know what that is. So I had to use 20 plus $29.99, which is 25. But if it was $29.99, right? GameStop's pretty competitive. All right, the last card, which is the Nami, which you could only get in the gift collection, which is sold out. So I'm pretty surprised that this card isn't more than what it is. Could be due to the meta of the game. But PSA 10 is going for $52.99. Now you could get this card ungraded, near mint foil for about $13.20. Light plate is still about $13, but around $13.20, $13.23. So this one is a 307% premium to get it graded, and also get it from GameStop. So the graded PSA 10s last sold were in the $39.40 range. So the GameStop premium is going to be about 36%. So, those are the 5 cards. The range between 11 to 36% above what eBay, at least the last few sold were. And again, this was rough estimates. So let me know in the comments if you think these are fair prices. I know the trade-in value is a different ball of wax, different ball game. I obviously don't have any cards graded, so I can't give you that. But I know after May 24th, we'll see if GameStop opens up the doors for trade-ins. All right, so my final thoughts on this, right? Would you be interested in trading in your One Piece PSA cards to GameStop? Again, depends on what they're offering. I presume. They haven't been offering very much on the Pokemon side. However, for a lot of people, they just need to get their cash, or they just want to trade in for credit and get more, maybe Pokemon cards. So that's not a bad deal. I believe in trade-ins and all that. So I don't think GameStop's doing anything wrong with that. Now, are prices too high? Are they trying to set the market? So this one is one that I always think about, especially like the video game market. A couple years ago when COVID hit, right? There's a couple grading companies that try to set the market, a couple players that scooped up a bunch of the graded video games, and then all of a sudden you got a Super Mario Brothers 64 going for $1 million when the last one was sold for $30,000, right? Why would it jump so high? Well, that's because a bunch of people bought it. They invested in this grading company, and then they start selling it for $1 million, and then they bought it themselves. So it looks like the price is $1 million. So I don't want that to happen with with these cards. In GameStop, maybe they're trying to set the market, right? So for example, you see that GameStop's prices are higher. Does that force you then to want to say, hey, if GameStop could get this, I should be able to get this. So I'm going to try to sell my cards at GameStop prices. So then everybody's going to start setting their prices higher. On the positive side, with having One Piece in the stores, that should bring more awareness to the TCG, which would bring more people into the game and also people into the collecting market, which would also which is important for everybody, the value of our collectibles. Everybody, like we all say, yeah, we're not necessarily all in it for the money or anything like that, but you're not collecting anything that's worth zero. Let's be honest, right? We're not collecting zero cards, so we're collecting stuff that we like. All right. The other thing is, does bring liquidity to the TCG market. GameStop is one of the biggest retailers, right, for video games, and now they're trying to be one of the retailers for Pokemon. So if they crack the TCG field, and I do feel bad for LGSs for sure, they're going to be able to bring liquidity to One Piece cards, right? So not only will I be able to sell my cards on eBay, Mercari, I could sell my cards at GameStop. I could obviously go to an LGS as well, but I'm gonna be honest. I went to an LGS and they offered me the Awakening New Era at like 30% above MSRP. Kind of turned me off, so I went back home and started buying my cards online. That's just me because, like I said, I am price sensitive. I do care about online LGSs, but it's hard to pay 30% on a booster box. I'll just say that, when I could go home and just buy it online. And as I said, is this good for collecting? Do we want to get this collecting mass, to be in the mass market? I just want the cards to be available, right? So everybody wants cards to be available, and then down the road, we'll worry about the value of the cards after the sets are no longer going to be available. The reprint's over, and then we can start worrying about the collecting part. But in the beginning, for sure, I want all the people to have the cards, and having One Piece or Pokemon graded cards be on the counter at GameStop. You walk in for video games and people see that. People are like, what is that? Why are those cards so high? That's going to bring interest into the game. Okay, and then my final thing is this, kind of similar to what I mentioned about manipulating the market. Is PSA driving this as well? They're recently teamed up to get this PSA, this Monkey D. Luffy card that you can only get by getting this subscription to their club, right? So they want to get people to start grading their cards. So if you get in this card, right? If I had this if I want to get this card and I choose the standard collection, well, obviously I get a break on my grading. So this is going to incentivize me to grade my cards, and then now I have a place to go, right? GameStop. I could just trade it in at GameStop. So it's a cycle, right, for a PSA. They're trying to get more people to grade cards, and then play, and they also want a place to have it so the cards can be liquid, and so that the customers can feel like that their cards are gonna be able to be liquid and be able to move. Because if they're grading cards that nobody wants, then it's not going to be a good service. Alright, well, hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're new to the channel, let me know what you think, and hopefully you subscribe. And if you're a returning visitor, thank you again, appreciate it. I know I'm trying to get more videos out. This one still took me a little while to get out, even though I just found out about this news today by going to GameStop. But what I want you to do is, if you like this video and it's free, please hit the like button, subscribe, and maybe share this video. Someone of interest may like this news as well. But otherwise, hope you have a good day, and keep watching my videos if you can. Have a good one. Bye.